Hello, all the crazy people out there. My name is Dragonite. Welcome back to Golden Sun Dark Dawn. It's been a little while since I've done this. A certain particular April Fool's project kept me occupied for most of the last month or so, and I haven't really had much time to do this. Let's see, where were we? So this is what, Warriors Hill? I think this is called Warriors Hill. If I go into the travelogue, where are we? Warriors Hill. So I recently made this one bluish-green cerulean tower burst out of the ground, and I believe there is a little more we can do in here, if memory serves. So if I go down, that's going to go down into the depths from whence we came, right? Yeah, I sort of recognize that. There's this this middle cog room, I think, and this one is still inactive. I don't believe I've been down this flight of stairs yet. What's going to wait for me here? So this is... If I push that sideways... Okay, so I think what I'm gonna need to do is, what's that? Oh, wait. My first reaction was gonna be push the gear onto here, pound it, and then make it go flying off in some direction, but I think what I actually need to do is, do that to myself. As we did in the other dungeon, and if I stand there, that looked a little bit like who has pound? Is it Tyrell? It's Tyrell. That looked a little bit like a marker on the ground where I would have to put something, and then I can go flip myself over. Okay, where is this going to lead us? So. If I ride down, am I going to be able to get back up? I just want to see what's down here. Alright, treasure chest. Aegis Shield. Reef got that. Let's see what the Aegis Shield is all about. I remember that vaguely as a name from the previous Golden Sun game. If I give that to me, my defense goes up. Tyrell's defense goes up. I'm going to get more defense out of that. Aeolio's... Alright, that's a pretty clear winner right there. Aeolio isn't in my party, is he? Should I put him in my party? I don't think I've had him doing any fighting since, Let's see, Tyrell... You can go into... No, that was the wrong one. Tyrell and Amity, you can go into backup. And now Aeolio is in my party. So what's through this door? This is going to allow me to climb, hopefully, to the other side of, yeah, to here. And now we'll be able to go around, and if I actually jump off with the right timing, there we go. Let's see, so I'm gonna want to go this way, I think. So if we go and use pound, right, if we go and use pound again, and I see we've got two seesaws on the opposite sides of that little gap there in case you wanted to make a return trip. What's over around here? Alright, I feel like I've seen this already. Have I ended up back in one of the rooms from before, or are there just two rooms that sort of look the same? Like, I recognize this setup here where we have a couple of gears that we'll need to move into place and make them start spinning. Towards me, if you please. Oh, am I standing too close? Alright, I'll have to go and walk around it then. Anyway, I don't think I recognize, like, the setup around this. Like, it didn't look like that. Treasure chest, obviously, I haven't been to before. The stairs from above, I don't think I've been to before. Anyway, that's going to start turning, and the cutscene is taking over, which makes me think that this is going to be something new. Alright. So that's going to be the third tower rising up out of the ground. Alright. Enough of that. I think we can go back upstairs. And when we go back upstairs, we're going to find that we can now ascend to the top once again. And is that going to Is that going to be anything interesting, like perhaps a boss fight? Maybe? Am I going to want to de-equip all my things? So if I walk out the front door, we're going to have a third tower on Warriors Hill. But let me go de-equip all my genie. And for good measure, I'll de-equip all the genie in the front and in the back. And we can go in here. That was items. So do I have an item? Watchtower key. That sounds important. Alright, let's use the Watchtower key. Was this a reward that I got for rescuing the old guy's kids the last time around? I can't remember. Anyway, let's go in here, and we have what appears to not be a boss, but... Is that it? A strange treasure to be sure. The treasure of the Watchtower. I'm not doing anything a rock tells me to. Yeah, Aelio, you and I are, have played enough of these games to know how that usually ends, haven't we? Could the treasure have been replaced? Unlikely. The door was locked when we arrived. Yeah, but it was locked from the outside, you'll notice. No one could have gotten in without the Watchtower key. Alright, so that means that our primary suspect is the old guy in town, right? And the Watchtower was apparently only appeared after the eclipse began. Even if someone wanted to steal the treasure, the place is pretty high security. And if the Watchtower were still buried, even we could not have gotten in. Some treasure. So now what? For the record, I don't remember what treasure we're looking for. I just remember that the old guy said that, oh yeah, there's a thing up on the hill. Maybe you want to go check it out. Do we ask the rock to guide us? Like, hey, rock, you know any good inn around here? Maybe we don't understand it, but it was hidden away by the ancients. It's important. As usual, Karis is right. Let us have a little faith in our forebears. As it happens, I have some experience with ancient treasures. Let's just take it with us. Alright, if Kraden says we need it, that's good enough for me. Excellent, let's grab it and depart. So I was hoping for a boss fight. And once again was somewhat disappointed. That is a third eye. I will not re-equip all my genie until I actually get back out to sea, though, just in case there's something waiting for us outside, because once in a while, you'll find something like that, but it doesn't appear that that's going to be the case. Can I go around Haroon Village? No, I have to go through Haroon Village. Alright, do I need healing? Not really. I'm short, like, just a couple of hit points, and for that, I can't really be bothered to go back to the inn and heal. So let's go, jump into our ship. Make it back out to sea. I will re-equip all my genie. Does that also automatically do the ones in backup? It seems that it does. And where do we want to go next? Atlas. This isn't very helpful. So where are we now? Warriors Hill. So we're still up in the northeast. Alright. So, if I were to just go out this way... Oh, yeah, obviously there's a map on the top screen. If I were to just go out this way, we'd probably see the end of the world, right? So that's gonna be, here be dragons, as one might say. Over here, there's just a couple of islands which don't appear to have anything on them. Can I really not, like, sail any faster? That's unfortunate. And we're going to swim into the shadow. And we're going to see if we can find anything new here. So again, that's just a couple of islands. The bigger islands, I think, are probably the ones that are more likely to have anything on them. This should allow me to sail back around to the beginning of the game, right? Because I remember there were a couple of interactions with synergies that I hadn't at that point seen at the point of no return. And at some point, I'd like to go back there and see if I can make any interesting discoveries there. I know that there's a couple of super bosses in this game. There were a couple in the last game too. What is this? Okay. When I came up against things like this in the Lost Age, that meant that, like, when the ship gained the ability to fly, you'd be able to cross over it. Again, it's been so long since I played Dark Dawn that I can't remember if flying is something that you get to do in this game. But I believe that would be an observation in favor of such a power to come up later in the game. This is approximately where the, what were they, the Apogea Islands and Aqua Rock would have been in the previous game. Alright, so here we have another one of these glowing door things. The door is firmly shut. I also ran up against one of those way off to the north. So I'm gonna get in the ship. There we go. I'm gonna have to remember to come back here too. There's something down there, which also I believe was a trait of the Apogea Islands in the last game. We'll definitely be going back there. I'm holding B on my DS as if that's gonna make me run, and I don't think it is. Let's see, what's over here? Is this going to be something I can land on? There's a person in the water. No, that's just my reflection. Alright, so this is not something I can land on. What about this? What was this? This was, the Japan archipelago in the Lost Age, more or less, wasn't it? Izumo, I think was the name? I think it was Izumo. I'm not 100% sure how one-to-one the world maps of the previous game and this game are supposed to, you know, correspond to each other, but I'm just using that as sort of a mental reference. This is Yamata City, so this is also going to be a bit of a Japanese-themed location. We've got some... Is this rice? We don't get too many foreigners on our island. I hope you enjoy our special culture. Alright, well, if that involves me getting to eat rice, I'm in. Let's see. My parents lived in a village called Izumo, indeed, but it was swallowed by the sea. That's why they moved here. So this is indeed Izumo 2.0, in a sense. This village once rested upon Nihon. Alright. Didn't really change many letters in that name, did they? But it was destroyed by massive tsunamis that flooded it. It was once terrorized by a monstrous dragon called the Great Serpent until the warriors of Vale slew the beast. I said I'm sorry. Anyway, let's see. That's just a tree with some, I don't know, some fencing around it. I think. It does look like it's fenced off. What's in here? Alright, old guy. King Susa and Queen Kushinada, alright, we know those names, have two children, Takeru and Himi. Only Himi is in the city now. Okay, you know what? Himi is a familiar name, and I have a funny feeling you are going to be our 8th party member. This king of Yamata is father to Himi and Takeru and husband to Kushinada. He was a hero of Izumo in his youth, while the younger Susa was wild and uncontrollable. Age mellowed him, and he has earned the respect of his subjects. Glad to hear it. Kushinada, of course, was the damsel in distress in the Lost Age. The Queen of Yamata is mother of Himi and Takeru. Since Himi's illness, she has led continuous prayer vigils. Sorry to hear that. As a young woman, she was chosen by lottery to be sacrificed to a monster, but was saved by the warriors of Vale because someone, Susa, was not up to the task. Takeru, this courageous warrior, is son of Susa and Kushinada, making him Prince of Yamata and heir apparent. After his sister Himi had a vision of the world in peril, interesting, he went abroad on an important mission. And Himi, this young girl, is daughter to Susa and Kushinada of Yamata. She supposedly possesses remarkable powers. Alright, so... least said about you, but the probably the most intriguing. So... oh, that's not a stove. Looks kind of like a cutting board, though. Either that or like a potting desk. I see those are flower pots next to it. Princess Himi caught a sudden fever. It has everyone very worried. There's no sign of recovery. We have another... I guess this is like a garden workshop, a garden shed or something like that. It's the only garden workshop I've ever seen, which very tidy can be reasonably applied to. So, I guess while I'm here, I'll check the last pot. Bramble Seed doesn't excite me, but you never know. Maybe there's going to be some gold in one of the other ones or something. There's a couple of houses here. So you are going to be an item vendor. Can I buy any interesting... you know what? I'm going to come back here after I do or don't get an 8th party member in the form of Himi. Herb, nut, antidote, elixir, sacred feather. I could buy sacred feathers to keep monsters away, but I don't really feel like doing that. Nothing to be said about that desk in the back there. Alright. There's an inn, too, which I guess I might as well stay out there. Island south of Yamata, but the other day I saw one I'd never seen before. How could that be? Everything changes so quickly now. How will we think of names for all the new places? Is that a... I don't know why the first thing that comes to mind there is the, what was it, Mirage Island from Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald? Which, how exactly does that work? If, like, a Pokemon whose internal ID in your party or PC matches a certain randomly generated one every day, it'll spawn or something like that. Anyway, let's go and stay at the inn just because it's here. And I think after that last battle, I was running a little bit low on HP, so it couldn't hurt. Have a nice trip. Let's see. Alright, so that's also not a stove. They say Otka Sea is now filled with huge whirlwinds. If your ship was sucked up by one, where might you land? Intriguing. I really would like to not have to go through the Sea of Time again, though, if you don't mind. Let's see. This house over here, I'm gonna have to climb a ladder to gain entry. Oh, it's not a house, it's just a watchtower. It's summer, but it's still very cold. As a soldier of Yamata, I can take anything. Still, it's very cold. Princess Takeru left to travel abroad, so he can't help protect Yamata. I'll have to take up the slack. Alright, so I'm just saying, if someone were to attack, I would not mind having a boss fight or two to test my metal, gain some experience, that sort of thing. There is a push block here. So if I can use my synergy. Well, there's cracks in the ground. Does that mean that I have to smash it or something? I don't think we've seen this as a use for Crush before. But, my Golden Sun senses are telling me that there is more here than meets the eye. Bonk. Alright. What happens if I drop down here? This is Yamata City? B1? Hoppity puzzles? Oh, there's a vine here, so this is just gonna let me climb out somewhere else. I thought for a minute, like, is this gonna be an actual dungeon or something? But this is a Jupiter Genie, who is not gonna fight me, apparently. Kite! The spirit represents flight and is found in Yamata. From a high vantage point, Kite gives the party key tactical advice, allowing for an extra action. Alright, I remember that one from the Lost Age. That's it's a pretty good genie to have on hand. And then, of course, there's a Sanctum over here. Hello, Sanctum guy. Alright. Sometimes if I talk to you from behind, you'll say something different, but I cannot get to you from behind? Alright, so that's definitely more points in favor of Himi joining our party later. And this being the subject of a little side quest in, do anything here? That one's not really, like, marked the same way that the crack in the ground was, though. Not sure what... What if I use the generic, like, Spate, what was it? Insight? No, Amidi has Insight. Alright, don't track. I have to say, track sounds like an interesting synergy, but I think we've only ever actually had to use it in that one story segment. I don't know if I would have used it elsewhere, if I would have, like, been able to find some kind of secret area or something like that, but it just, it doesn't interest me, and I'm not really motivated to, you know, go out of my way to look for places where I can use it. Alright, in here, we have a warehouse of sorts by the look of it. So those are small barrels that we can roll. What actually is that? Is that a pile of logs or something? It's almost the same color of the floor. I think it's a pile of logs. Can I move you sideways? No, I need a line of sight for that. Alright. Oh, I can climb up here. I can jump across. I think I can jump across. Okay. I feel like this one is maybe a little harder than it needed to be on account of a lot of the objects in here being kind of the same color, but we can push that aside. We can gain access to this treasure chest, and that is going to give us a loaf of bread. Alright, power bread, and then I think I can make a quick escape just by pushing that one out of the way. Very nice. That's the sort of puzzle that I would be designing for Golden Sun. I'd like to get to more complicated ones eventually, but so far, in like the demo and stuff, that's the sort of puzzle that I was focused on creating. So this is a bit of a palatial looking building. Before I go in there, I think I should probably talk to these guys. As long as we have King Susa and Queen Kushinaga to guide us, I'm sure our little country will be peaceful. If Uzume hadn't brought us here, we certainly would have been washed away by the tsunamis. Is that a name I should know? Earth Adept was sister to Susa and the de facto ruler of Izuma before the village was destroyed by tsunamis. She died of an illness shortly after shepherding her people to Yamato. Alright. Uzume. I do kind of remember that name, but I don't remember what role she played in the last game. Yamato Ruins. Alright, old lady. Lady Uzume had strange powers. I once saw her move a huge rock without so much as touching it. Alright. Synergy powers run in the family, do they? Just ahead is Lady Uzume's grave in the shrine in her honor. Please be respectful. Alright, I'll try not to break anything. Or steal any items, even though it looks like there's stuff just out on that table for me to take. Or do any smashing of large rocks, which look suspiciously smashable. No? Apparently I can move that. Can I read the mind of the statue? That's not what I expected. Alright, Sveta, let's bust out mind read. I trust you only disturb my repose with a good reason. Well, you were just kinda here. You're Jenna's-son. You and your friends, children of great warriors who have become great warriors. Though the world is in darkness, you would illuminate the way. Return light and hope to Ward. You could have been more helpful, but anyway, let's use move here. I hope that didn't make enough noise that the people outside will, like, notice that we're up to no good. What is this exactly? Why are we glowing? Alright, I don't want to have to leave everything up to the reveal synergy. But I will do it if it saves me the trouble of trying every single one and seeing what's gonna happen. Alright, what, can I keep moving it? What on earth do I want to do with that? Alright, I can't move it anywhere else. Alright, so can I, like, pick up the... Alright, I was gonna say, like, can I pick up... I remember there were some dancing idol puzzles in the Lost Stage. Can I pick up that figurine there and just stick it on the platform? But it doesn't appear so. Alright, I might have to come back here later. Let us get out of here. And do I want to end this off before going up to the palace? Because I don't know how much, like, talking is going to be entailed in the palace. I think I will. So, next time on Golden Sun, Dark Dawn, we're going to be heading up here, seeing what's going on, figuring out what we can do for Himi. Possibly gaining another party member, not sure. I'll also see if I can work ahead enough on this game to, like, get back in lockstep with Pokemon White before that game is finished, now that I have a little bit more time to do this. We'll see, though. It's not that important. But I did actually get a couple of people asking me about it, so... Anyway, you should all go check out Wizarducks and the Lost Hat, which is one of the games that I like to work on when I'm not doing YouTube stuff. Link to the Steam page can be found down below. I hope you all enjoyed that, and I will see you all later.